Hello and welcome to the third part of this series on about upgrading an old basic game. Actually, many times I tried to record that, but for some reason it looks like April 1st is not playing well with me. So, if you did not see it, yesterday I published a video, I have the link in the description, where I showed how I was doing some of the graphics. But back to the game, the idea is to go from there to something graphical like that. So on this kind of project, I generally start by playing the game to have a rough idea of what's happening. So I made a map of the game, whole school, with various locations on what you could find. So marketplace, black dust on the dark down tunnel, a dove in the dark forest, a beautiful garden, a missing connection to the old well, etc, etc. And here this is the main mansion, which connects to some shady basement on the first floor of the building. So this gave me a list of locations and some basic descriptions. So the problem is you need to have in your head how it does connect all together, so you get something consistent. And you don't really know that just from the text, at least not for me. So what I did is that I did some Google image search, and I've been through the various locations. So this is the Apple Orchard, bird window over the tile patio, the beautiful garden, the child bedroom, cold damp cellar. Obviously it's just some reference picture, but it allows you to start. So that's where you start the game, in the deserted market square. And they do work on the Oric. We are using the SAM converter, which try to do its best, but most of the time this looks like a mess of pixelized mush, because they are not very contrasted, the actual photos. And yeah, East Gallery, apparently it's part of the White House. I know that the game is in mansion, but yeah, not this type of mansion. So anyway, that gave me some reference pictures, and then I've been able to play the game like that. And then I spent a bit of time on actually making nice pictures and an improved map of the location. So they are not all converted, but here we start with deserted marketplace, where you can go on the east and on the north. On the east to the CDLA, with the connection to the east, the west, and the north. And I've drawn some of the connection in a way that you can see that things are related. Obviously that was not finished. Actually, none of them are finished. I like to iterate multiple times. So this is a tunnel which does the connection to this tunnel here. Try to reproduce some of the graffitis. This is just a badly converted trees for a forest. That's a well with where you can find the bucket. On here we have the long stretch of road which goes to what they call the narrow passage, which makes no sense because it's also connecting to another asphalt related place. That's the pit where you fall into if you are not equipped. That's the greenhouse, vegetable. And this is a big staircase which allows you to connect to here, this intermediate place, which itself goes there. And then you have the west gallery with a secure padlock door, the guest bedroom, the tiled shower, the box room. I'm not sure if it's actually a box room. That's a bit of the problem. There is a lot of words I never heard of before. The east gallery that goes to the ornate bathroom, the child room, the master bedroom, and the tiny toilet with some TPE. On here, that's the place where the tug, one of the tug is sleeping. So we have all these pictures, and now we need to get them in the game, which is actually not very difficult, but it's not something naturally supported on the Oric. So just to show where we were last time, We have our start picture, help, help, and then we are in the game. To make things more practical, I'm going to disable the intro sequence because it's just annoying. So I'm going to do go to 63. And now we start the game directly where we want, which will make things much faster. So from last time, we know that each of the location is using a number 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. to define the actual number location, and that these numbers are matched with the variables used by the items to know which item is at which place. And most of the locations are using a very similar structure with setting the location number, a description, sometimes some specific code. In this particular code, GL is a girl. So if we have the girl here, when we reach back the marketplace, we go to 31,000, and you've made it, well done. So we know that it's the victory condition. And then there is goes up 9,000 on the description of the directions you can take. And that's the same everywhere. So if we go to 9,000, you can see that that's where the inventory, not the inventory, but the location of various items is located. So we can use that to cheat, to display our picture. But first we need to set up the special graphic mode. So I'm going to explain later, but here I'm just going to copy paste some code I already made. So that's the mix graphic mode setup. And before, yep. And so now we have a black so here we are supposed to have pictures, but right now we don't have anything. But you can see that it's actually real. And interestingly, the game, the software thinks we are in text where we are not. But if I do iris and then text, now we are back to the normal mode. So now that we have that, we need to load our pictures. So we are going to cheat by inserting some code just before the inventory thing. So if I go back to line 9,000, I can insert something like that. So we know that this location, 9,000, is being called from any place in the game, any location. So what we do is we create a string containing the stringified number plus bin, and it becomes a file name. If this file name exists, then we load it, else we load none.bin, which is basically if we are missing a picture, which is going to be practical later. And then we need to find all these goes up 9,000 and replace them by 8,900. The only thing is we don't have, we have not converted this picture, so we need to add this missing picture. So here we have the list of 240 by 108 pictures. So non-tap. And I add it to the list here. And if I am not mistaken, no picture, which makes sense because we don't have a picture for the deserted market square. So let's fix that. So from now on, it is relatively simple. I add one picture, so deserted market square PNG converted to one tape, and I add it here. You are in the deserted market square. I can see nothing of interest here. No picture, which makes sense. So I'm going to speed up and I'm going to put all the pictures I had made, including the comment describing them all. So I can see that's quite a number of them, which is why I did not manage to get them all done. And need to extend this command line to something which becomes ludicrously long, because there is no wildcard support in this tool. And now the problem is that because these pictures were not converted, it needs to go through them all. So while it's working, I can show you where this mix mode thing comes from. It actually comes from this French book, Au cœur de l'Oric, which describe how to do these things. And it gives some addresses that needs to be modified. And you can find a description of these in another book, the Advanced User Guide. In the French book, they are in decimal, so I put the hexadecimal equivalent because it's easier to relate. So 2C0 indicates the status of the screen, if it's in text or iris mode, which allows you to draw or not command. It needs that to do the small demonstration, drawing some lines on colors. But we don't need that because we are just loading pictures. So it switch to iris, do some stuff, switch back to text, mode 2. And then it sets 4 values. So 278 and 27A are the addresses of the 2 lines of the screen, which is the basic use to know where to start moving things or putting the cursor or scrolling. 27C, initialized with 11 times 40, is a number of characters that has to be used in scrolling. So normally it moves 26 by 40 characters, but because we removed half of the screen, we only need to scroll 11 lines. And this is just another repeat of this information, but it's just a number of lines. So this simple program, which I truncated quite a lot, this do the same thing as that. So switch to iris attribute, put the switch to text a bit later on the screen, and then change. And was not able to load Dark Forest. Yes, because I forgot to put the... I don't have all the pictures, of course. So... yes. I'm going to do... there. And it's continuing to convert the picture. So hopefully, so far so good. Yes, so regarding the way it works, I also printed this. So these are the control codes used by the Oric. Any value under 32 is considered as a attribute, which is a special value which can be used to change the color of ink, changing the properties of the text, making it flash, etc. And the ones from 24 to 31 are used to control the graphic mode. So you can switch text to 60 Hz or 50 Hz, graphics to 60 Hz or 50 Hz. And the way it works is that as soon as the video, the ULA, the chipset, reads them in memory, it immediately executes them. So in our case, what we are doing is we poked the value 31 in BB81. So 31 is graphics 50 Hz. And we put it in BB80, which for some reason they forgot. They put the screen address starting from the second line, not the first one. But basically we put the value 31 here, which the video chip reads, and immediately it switched to high-res mode internally. So it stopped displaying this part. What it does, it switched back to A0001, which is the next byte in memory. And it goes like that for 128 lines. And then it reaches A00 plus 40 by 128, which is the line 128 something here, where it finds the code 26, which switches back to text 50. So all this is displayed in text mode. And because of the pokes and docks, this is considered like the full text screen by the Oric. So why 128? Not more. Well, the reason is that the screen in text mode and the screen in high-res mode are sharing the same address in memory. So these 3 lines of text here matches these 3 lines here, which also means that this here we have 25 lines of graphic mode, which matches the entire 25 top lines of the screen. So anything you write here, if you're in high-res, will also appear here, which gives some very, very, very messy results. And even worse, we have the char set, which are 1 kilobyte each. So here we have these 25 lines of graphics, and we have also 1 kilobyte of chart set and 1 kilobyte of char set. And if you try to draw graphics there, it means that all the text you're trying to display is going to be corrupted because you're going to redefine the characters. And it looks like we are good to go. So hopefully this works. You are in a deserted market square. You are in a dark city alley. Can always be practical. I can see black dust. Get dust. Now I have dust in my bag. So that's one of the Google image search on that dark forest. With a bit of imagination, you can almost recognize it. So, old-fashioned well. Beautiful garden. same thing. I mean, it's recognizable. The lawn tennis court, the fish pond, tile patio, apple orchard with a long ladder, get knife. It's not that I need the knife, but if I want to go in the house, I need to be armed, else I'm going to be killed by the dog. That one is almost recognizable. So on the west there is a gaming room, which I forgot to convert. I made it yesterday evening. Well, whatever. It will be for the next episode. Go back east. Narrow passage. Imposing entrance hall. Yeah, I definitely forgot to copy the pictures. Kill, dog, throw, knife. You have killed the dog. Up. Yeah, these are because I forgot to clean up the picture. Up. West. North. So there you go. That's basically the whole idea. There are a lot of problems remaining. Like for example, if I try to call the inventory, a plastic bag. Oh, what was it? There are some things which totally corrupt the graphics, so they will have to be fixed. But yeah, basically that's it. So I'm just going to do a last change. I'm going to enable back the intro on the help, and I move the initialization of the screen mode here. And counter, press any key when you're ready. Up, up. And there you go. One of the things I'm thinking about doing next time is, for example, to have help instead of saying it's no use shooting help, to actually display the help intro from the that we have on the start, because it's very annoying. And it could just be interactive help. So you start the game, you get the intro sequence, and it just appears here. Yep. So I guess that's it for today. Hopefully the audio this time is correct. We'll see. I did a bunch of attempts earlier on, it miserably failed. I'm going to put the links to the previous videos in the description, and all these things, including the image search and the temporary pictures and the extract of the manual on the map, is going to be on the SVN server as well. So if you want to play with that, it's all available. It runs out of the box with a current SDK. So yeah, enjoy, and happy Easter. Make sure that you avoid all the April 1st fools.